I'm Laure Colombo. I'm a winemaker in Cornas, in the northern Rhone Valley. I'm Jean-Luc Colombo's daughter, so the second generation. Yeah, it's quite interesting, your question, because most of the time people taste Cornas, they like it or not. Most of the time they like it. But then after, when they come, and for me it's very important for people to come in the vineyard and visit the vineyard and smell everything in the vineyard, then they really understand the wine. I have a lot of sommeliers coming to Cornas and say, oh, now I understand why I smell garrigue, you know, like thyme, rosemary in the Cornas, why I smell incense, you know, or pine tree, a lot of resin that they smell sometime in the wine, and this is very typical of Cornas. If you look on the map in Cornas, we are on the 45th parallel, which is really the line that divides France into northern France and southern France. So in Cornas, we still have a Mediterranean influence coming from the south, and a little bit of continental. If you go just 50 kilometers north of Cornas, in Côte-Rôtie, you are just in a continental place. So you will have much more aroma, like Burgundy, so more violet, very floral. Whereas in Cornas, you get all those spices that are very typical from the terroir there. And I think that's really what we want to translate in the glass for the people. It's just a trip. I've been away for almost 1 week now, and you know, sometimes when I feel homesick or a bit stressed or whatever, I just close my eyes, put my nose on this, and well, in terms of winemaking, not so much, in fact. It's more just let the terroir talk. But it's very important, and when I think about Syrah, for me, I insist on the term Syrah and not Shiraz, because for us it's really the original place where Syrah was born in northern Rhone Valley. It's quite one of the most north places on earth where Syrah grow, actually, and this is very characteristic of the aroma that we look for in the terroir and the winemaking is fresh fruit and no jammy flavor at all. We are not looking for strawberry jam, raspberry jam. It has to be fresh fruit. It has to be black pepper. And when we think, oh, Syrah is a spicy grape, whatever, no. It's not spicy, it's not cardamom, it's not cinnamon, it's just fresh black pepper. This is important for me. A little bit of licorice, maybe, but that's it. And a lot of flower. Violet is very important, so it's a more floral and delicate wine than tutti frutti. When we say let the terroir talk, well, I include myself in the terroir, because I think terroir is not just the granitic soil or whatever. Terroir is, of course, is the soil, but it's also all what is surrounding your vineyard. So for me, it's really important the nature that is around. We work organic in Cornas, and working organic is not just about not spraying in the vineyard. It's about all what is, it's the life of the vineyard. So it's about all the flowers, the trees, the animals also that you have around. So this is really, really important. We are a few winemakers in the region to live in the middle of the vineyard. My parents, they have a house surrounded by the vineyard, 4 dogs, 2 donkeys, 2 horses, around 40 chickens running everywhere. It's our garden. Our vineyard is our garden. So we don't want to spray in the vineyard because it's our first health. Okay, health. It's a healthy reason for us. After, of course, I think in terms of winemaking, the soil for me is the most important. When we talk about the terroir and the soil, it's not just about what kind of stone you have. It's about the life you have in your vineyard. So all the microorganisms that are living in your vineyard, that's what makes the terroir. The big challenge, not today, but in the years to come, I think it would be maybe global warming. Today we see that, well, 30 years ago when my parents started in Cornas, everybody used to chaptalize. It was, the wine were 10, 11 degrees. It was difficult to go a bit higher. Today, naturally, we go 13 degrees easy. Châteauneuf-du-Pape, it's a disaster. You can get Grenache at 17 degrees, very easy. So really, I think one of the big point today, we make wine, we don't make port, even if it's very good with Stilton, it's not our purpose. So wine is made for food. And with food, you can't have too much alcohol. I really believe in that. So I think this is one of the challenge of the winemaker today in our region, to have a good maturity, a good phenolic maturity, so to have tannin that are ripe, but not too much alcohol. So this is something, so working in the vineyards, maybe with more leaves and so well, some small things that can help to reduce a bit the alcohol is important, and maybe finding a bit more high altitude places that can be something interesting. So the white, if it would be Saint-Péret, because I'm a big Saint-Péret addicted. So Saint-Péret, Roussanne, and Marsanne. So probably I would serve, well, it depends what you have after for main course, but as an appetizer, maybe a sol meunière, you know, like a Dover sol. Well, actually, if I can be a bit more precise, it wouldn't be a Dover sol, but a sol from the Mediterranean. My dad's best friend is a fisherman on the Blue Coast near Marseille, where we also produce some rosé. And he has like very small sole that you just cook with olive oil, and with Saint-Péret is just marvelous. For red, so Cornas probably. And like this, if we are on a young vintage, what I love, and because at home we have a big chimney and we cook everything, all the meat on the fire, wooden fire. So a big T-bone with good fat. In my region, we have a special cow called Aubrac that makes, it's a kind of cow that is very wild and quite hard because it goes in the mountain, so it works a lot. And the meat is just strong, yeah. So it could be nice. Simple food. So 2014 was quite a challenging vintage. For the white, it was perfect. Everything was nice. We had hot day, pretty much cool night, so very well balanced. So we could harvest everything on time, and it was very good. For the red, it was perfect until we get a little bit of hail just before harvest, actually the day before we started harvest. So we were very lucky because it was already ripe. So we decided to harvest quite fast everything. So finally, we didn't lose too much, and the quality was good because it was ripe, and the ale just opened slightly the grapes. And so when we put in the tank, the extraction was by itself, doing everything by itself. So we didn't have to do almost anything. We only do pumping over, remontage, like 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night. This year it was like the job was done by nature, so so it was kind of cool, in fact. So finally, I'm quite happy of my 2014. Well, this is something very, very important for me, and I think for my family. We come from a food background because my grandmother was a chef in Marseille, and my parents moved to the wine because of their passion for food. So something that I've always learned is wine is made for food. So that's why we try to be careful with alcohol, with oak, with sugar. We never have sugar in our wine. So in terms of wine, I would say if I have, like I said, like a T-bone with fat, something a bit round, I would go for a younger vintage because of the tannin that are a bit stronger. So the fat will soften and it will be a good balance. If I have an older vine where the tannin are a bit more evolved and a bit more soft, I would go with something maybe a bit more like a game or something. So it really depends what I'm eating, in fact. So for me, my big excitement actually of the moment is I moved to Saint-Péret. So it's basically it's the white appellation of Cornas. It's like you have Côte Rôtier and Condrieu that works together. Hermitage, you have Hermitage Blanc, Hermitage Rouge. And for the south, you have Cornas and Saint-Péret that works together. So my big challenge is on Saint-Péret. I just settled in a farm there, and I just want to put Saint-Péret like Cornas within what my parents did in 30 years in Cornas. I want to do maybe a bit faster in Saint-Péret, but so that's my big challenge. And what I was looking when I moved to Saint-Péret, it was to have an estate where I have 14 hectares that are all together, and this is very unusual in Northern Rhone because most of the time you have small plots a bit everywhere. I really wanted to have one single estate where I can do my own weird stuff. And I'm really into permaculture and agroforestry, so I'm really thinking to move to something a bit more, not just about vines, but about all the things around. So for me, I like to mix, I'm also, I'm doing a training of apiculture to learn how to grow bees. So I have bees in the vineyard. I want to mix with fruit and vine. I really want to experiment not just on the vine, but on different vegetable or trees or culture that can go with vines. So that's my new, I think that's the future for winemaking. I want to integrate again the viticulture to the agriculture. And I don't want to be separate from we are peasants. So exactly, yeah. So,
thank you very much.
Thank you.